Alrighty, welcome back to another short and simple no-code tutorial. Today we're building a simple AI-powered image style transfer app using FlutterFlow and Replicate. We'll be using obviously FlutterFlow for the UI stuff, and then we'll be using this particular AI model from Kaminduru, a visual style prompting control net model, and then we'll be kind of tapping into this model using the Replicate AI tool. So just to quickly show you what a demo, I guess, of this model on Replicate. So you upload a style image file. In this case, it's this kind of owl looking thing. And then there's another file that you upload, which they call the depth image file. And then there's also another variable where there's like another styling sort of add-in thing here. So this one's set to line art. And then there's also a prompt variable here as well. And then when you run that, it produces something like this. So we'll quickly step through a demo on FlutterFlow just to kind of replicate. Lol. We'll kind of go through and just show you what it looks like on FlutterFlow. So this is the simple app, style transferer. Let's kind of step through it. So we'll upload a style image. So this is the owl, so we'll upload the owl. We'll also upload, while that's doing, we'll upload this. And then there's a little preview of each. Then there's a section here you can kind of click in what kind of style you want. We'll just go similar to what's actually on their website. So we'll do line art. And they don't actually add in a prompt, but let's just add in a prompt here just to give it a little bit more direction. So we'll call it transformer. And then we'll create image. So we'll just wait a sec while that loads. Alrighty, so it's finished. So as you can see, that's the finished product. It's this image with that sort of styling. So pretty cool in my humble opinion. So let's step through how to set it all up on FlutterFlow. So we'll head back to FlutterFlow. This is the basic overview of the UI. So there's a title, got a couple of buttons here. These upload a particular image. So in this case, a style image, a reference image. You have some radio buttons here, which you can select to indicate further a particular style. So a text field widget here for the prompt, just to further provide some direction for the image. We have a button here which activates the workflow. And then finally we have an image here which will display the final outputted file from Replicate. So that's the overview. First things first, we'll head to the API calls section and set up the API. So we'll head over back to Replicate. We'll come to HTTP. This is all the information we are looking for. So we've got a post type, and then we've got the headers, and this is the API URL. So we will copy that, head back here, paste in the URL here, change the post method to post, and these header sections will just be this information here. Obviously, you will add in your own Replicate API token for this particular section. And now for the body. So you would just copy all of that, head over to the body, kind of paste that in here. And then as you can see, there's 4 different sections here which will be dynamic. So these will be variables. So we head over to the variable section. There's a style image, which is a string. We have a ref image, which is a string, a style name, which is a string, and a prompt, which is a string. So once you set up those variables, you essentially just come here and you drag and drop them in the corresponding area. And then you can save it, and then you can do a API call test to test it all out. And then what you're wanting to do is save these particular JSON paths once, save these particular paths here. So that's API call number one. The second one is just get prediction, similar headers. All that we're doing here is creating a variable for ID, and the query parameters will be ID, and essentially that ID is just going to be the ID from the first API call. Okay, so that's the APIs. Now let's head back to the UI builder and start binding these widgets with some necessary information. So working from top to bottom, we have the style button here. What we're doing here, we come to the action flow editor. There are two parts to this. So the first part is to upload the media to Supabase. So upload media to Supabase, upload type Supabase. This setup here, you would have to kind of set up in Supabase yourself, but essentially all you need to do is create a bucket and with the name, whatever name you want to name it. In this case, I've used YouTube, but you could use a different name. The folder path, this is just the name of the folder that the images will go into. In this case, I've called them style image. And then the source, the media source where you're uploading this from is either your camera or your gallery. And that's it. And then once you've done that particular one, all you're doing here is changing a page state to style image uploaded to true. So while we're at it, we'll quickly head over to this and we'll just have a look at the local page state variables that we have set up. So we have three. We have style image uploaded, prediction loading, and ref image uploaded. So this one is the all booleans, nullable, all set to false. So this one's just obviously to do with this one. This just changes once there is an image, style image that is uploaded, it will change to true. The same with the reference. Once there's a reference image uploaded, this local page state variable will change to true. And when both of these are changed to true, what is happening is these are then conditionally made visible. So these two images here will only show up once that local corresponding local page state variable is set to true. So that's why we have those particular local stage state variables. Bit of a word fumble there. And then this one, prediction loading, is just for this Lottie animation. That just helps to, when the prediction loading is true, then this Lottie animation, as you can see, will be displayed. And if not, it won't be displayed. So those are local page state variables. Scrolling up, the reference image is just the same as the style image. But the only thing that we're changing is changing the upload folder path to ref image instead of style image. And then again, the page state that we're changing is the ref image uploaded page state, and we're setting that value to true. Okay, and then these images, these are just image widgets. The only thing that there's two things that we are kind of changing in this section here. We're making these conditionally visible. So this one is when the style image uploaded local page state variable is set to true, then it will show. So that is just, this is the page state variable. When that is equal to true, then show it. And then scrolling down, then the path is just going to be the uploaded file URL. So that's just going to be, you can actually see it when you click on it. So what this is doing is whatever image is uploaded from the output of this button, it will display that. So this one is uploaded file URL 1. And you can see on the screen there, when you hover over different ones, it shows you which one it's referring to. So this one here is just that style button. So that's the one that we want. And then similar with this image, again, it's just conditionally visible based on the ref image uploaded page state variable. And then this file, this path is just based on this reference on this button here. So you can see here, uploaded file URL 2. As hover over it, it kind of shows up. So that's the one that it's referencing. So that will just pull in whatever image is uploaded via these buttons, and it will display it once that uploading has completed. So moving down, we have the line art of this style, this radio button, which gives us some options for some extra style. So I've only got 3 on here, but you can see on here, if we come back to form, that there are actually more options available. So we've only got 3, but there's actually more. So in your one, you can include more. Obviously, I've just included 3. So line art, low poly, and Van Gogh. So essentially, when you click on one of these, that will update the variable associated with that. So let's come here. So we've got the 3 different options. And yeah, nothing else fancy to that. Pretty simple. And moving down, we have a text field here, which is just, again, we'll set the variable for the prompt. So that's all that is. Nothing else kind of fancy about it. It's just a text field with the prompt. And moving down, there's a bit more to this one. So create image button. So again, come to the workflow editor, open that up. This is an overview. We're probably familiar with this if you've seen any of the previous videos. We'll quickly go through a backend call. Is the create prediction, the first API. There's 4 variables relevant to this particular setup. So style image, the value is going to be the uploaded file URL. The second one, ref image, will be the uploaded file URL 2. And let me just go back. It probably would be easier. No, that's fine. That's fine for now. Apologies, coming back. The third one is the prompt. So this is just, the value is just going to be the widget state of the prompt text field widget here. So that's all that is. And then the style name is from the radio button. So the value, again, is a widget state, radio buttons. So whatever option is highlighted on those radio buttons will become that value for that the style name variable. Then we come down here, there's a conditional thing based on whether or not the API call is succeeded. If it comes down to true, there's a periodic function here which activates every 5 seconds or 5,000 milliseconds. Moving on, next step is updating the page state. So prediction loading set value to true, and that activates, or that makes the visibility of that loading animation, that activates that loading animation. So that's the purpose of that. Moving down the backend call, the get prediction, there's only one variable, and that's the ID. So we set that value to the output of the first API call. So we go to the JSON body, predefined path, and then the ID. So all that is doing is taking the ID value from the first API call, which is this, and then uses that as that ID variable. Moving on, the conditional action is based on the outputs of this. So this is the list set and not empty. And it's particularly referring to the output predefined path of this second API call. So it looks at the JSON body, predefined path, which is the output path, and it's just checking, is it set and not empty? In other words, is there an output file in this path? If there is, then move down this true path. If there isn't, then we come down to this false path, and then the flow gets terminated. So if it's false, it gets terminated here, and then this again will repeat in the next 5 seconds. If it's true, what we're doing is updating the prediction loading to false, because the prediction isn't loading anymore, it's completed. So we change it to false, and what that does is that loading animation will now be turned off and not visible. And then lastly, we stop the periodic action, which is this. so that it doesn't run in the next 5 seconds. It just finishes, and then we terminate it, and then that's it. And then moving down to the last one here is just this image. All we're doing is, again, making it conditionally visible. And this visibility is based on the output, the JSON output of the last API call. And all we're checking is that output path name set and not empty, similar to the previous one. If there is an output file there, then show it. If there isn't an output file there, then don't show it. And if there is an output file there, we display it, and then the particular image, so this path here, we are pulling a particular image from that. So we come here from the get output API, so that's the second API. The image path that we're pulling through is from the JSON body, predefined path output, item at index. We're doing this because the output path is a list, and we are pulling in the first image within that list. In this case, there's only one image, but that's got to be the first image in that list. Confirm, and then that will be displayed there. And then the last one is just the Lottie animation. I think we've just touched on, so that when the prediction loading is true, it'll be displayed. If not, it doesn't get displayed. And I've just toggled the visibility from within this editor here, so you can just kind of toggle that on and off just to make it kind of easier to view. One other kind of quick thing here, this is all within a high level column, and this column I have scrollable. So as you can see on here, it goes below the bottom once that image loads, so you need to kind of make that scrollable, and I just did that at that level, so at that column level, just this button here, make it scrollable. And yeah, so that's essentially it. If you have any questions, let me know. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.